in all centuries in Europe. Think about the migrants during industrialization in the 19th century, a lot of Polish people coming, for example, to Germany. Think about the after Second World War migrants in the 20th century, the so-called guest workers from the 60s on in the last century, and now we have the refugees, and my home country is Germany, and as you could see, we have really to deal with a lot of refugees, but I can tell you, wir schaffen das. This is really a nice word, and I have just, you know, Anna Lusabi said yesterday, you have to show a book if you're an academic. Here is a book about migration and democracy, just recently published in Germany. It's in German, but I have 5 copies here if somebody is interested. I want not to make a PowerPoint presentation with nice slides. I just want to give you 8 statements, bullet points. First, there is a difference between international migrants and forced migration. Forced migrations are refugees and asylum seekers. The other one are just migrants who migrate because of occupation reasons and so on. You can see the so-called normal migration now in the UK, where there are a lot of, I think I had figures about 400,000 Polish people who are working in the UK, migrated, and now have somehow to leave the country. Second, migrants are not a homogeneous group. They have different ethnic, cultural, and educational background. Third, as migrants are not a homogeneous group, they need different approaches of financial education. Fourth, the so-called second generation of migrants, the children which are already born and educated in the new country, are in many cases highly adapted to the economic and societal system of the new country. They do not differ from the other children and students which are born in their home country. And anyway, as you see, like in Germany, there are informations that 48% of the so-called Germans have a migrant background. These are the persons which are called by the statistics Personenmigrationshintergrund. But if you look back, migration is the normal thing, and to stay is more or less the unnormal thing. People are born to move, and our brain is constantly moving into new fields, as you can see, and so our feet can move as well, and I think it's nothing to wonder about. 5, and how they react on this specific situation. And finally, 8, there is not an ABC of financial education. Financial education is a very complex process. The distributed materials by banks, insurances, debt advisors, consumer protection agencies, book publishers and others are very diverse. The terms financial education, skills, financial literacy, financial competence, financial knowledge are often used synonymously, though they touch different aspects of financial education. And therefore it's really needed to be very clear, and I don't believe that you can measure financial education, or however you will call it, by 4 questions. I think this gives a fog about the real problem of financial literation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation.